So we're still continuing 4.5, maybe the last video of 4.5. I'm given two functions, f of x and g of x, and I want to find fog, f composed of g of x, and I want to find goff, g composed of f of x. So this is defined to be f of g of x, and this is defined to be g of f of x. Okay? So look, I continue the theme of it's f of something equals what? What's the rule? I take a number, I multiply by 4, I subtract 2, and I divide by 3. So I take a number, and I multiply by 4, I subtract 2, and I divide by 3. Now instead of this blop here, what do I have in place of the blop? It's g of x. So this f of g of x, this is 4 times g of x minus 2 over 3. What is g of x? G of x is 1 divided by x. So I'm going to replace this g of x with 1 over x minus 2 divided by 3. Okay? So what does this equal? This is going to be 4 over x minus 2 over 3. Now to combine these two here, in order to do that, I have to have a common denominator. Now to get a common denominator, right now the denominator on that 2 is a 1. So right here I've got an x, so what do? I need an x down here, but if I put it here, I got to put it in the numerator too. So now what does this become? This becomes 4 minus 2x divided by, well, my common denominator is x. Okay, and then I'm dividing by 3. Now 3 could be written as 3 over 1. Now look at this. I've got a fraction divided by a fraction. That's nasty, so let's fix it. Okay, we're going to fix this. To do this, I have to do the technique called keep, change, flip. So I keep the numerator the same, 4 minus 2x over x. I change division to multiplication, and I flip the denominator. So the denominator reciprocal is 1 over 3. Now I multiply, and I get 4 minus 2x divided by, well, 3 times x is just 3x. Are there any bad values here that won't work for fog? Well, guess what? There is. What can I not do? I can't divide by 0, and I can't do square roots and negatives. Well, I've got no square roots, but I've got the potential to divide by 0. If x equals 0, then we're dividing by 0 here. So in my domain, I go from negative infinity to 0, and then from 0 to infinity. Just like that. Okay, so goff, g of x, g composed of f of x. So what is g of blop? This is 1 over the blop. Basically, this machine, this function, takes a number and does the reciprocal. So if I do g of f of x, that's 1 over the blop. What's the blop? That's f of x. F of x is 4x minus 2 over 3. So I've got a fraction over a fraction. I've got to do the keep, change, flip rule. So I keep the numerator the same. Don't want to get confused here. I keep the numerator the same. I change division to multiplication, and I flip. I do the reciprocal, 3 over 4x minus 2. What is this? This is 3 over 4x minus 2. Are there any numbers that are bad here? Okay, once again, no square roots, so don't have to worry about negatives. But we are dividing by 0. So how do I figure out what number I can't use? I set the denominator equal to 0. I solve for x. Add 2, divide by 4, I get x equals 1/2. So x equal 1/2 in here would be bad, so I do not want it to equal 1/2. So my domain is all numbers except for 1/2. All right. Hope that helps.